Her heart was throbbing. It was beating so hard it seemed like it would break through her dark bosoms and right through her flimsy evening gown. Locked in the cellar, all alone, she ran her acrylic nails through her once neatly plaited hair. There were footsteps outside the big oak door, and slowly, oh, so slowly, the door creaked open. "They're waiting for you, miss," said Martin, pocketing a big metal key in his somewhat funeral-looking attire. Seeing that the girl made no movement to leave, he stepped forward and swiftly pushed her forward and out the door, stopping only to lock the door again. "Your hair is a mess, miss. You can't let them see you like this." Martin then led her to another room, where he pulled out all the bobby pins and bands from her hair. Then, humming in his deep Irish brogue, he plaited her hair swiftly. Black locks of hair twisted until perfection. But this time, instead of needing to be pushed and pulled, she walked herself. Her head bent down and her slight footsteps echoing through this great hall. She kept walking until she heard Martin's footsteps stop. "And this is where we part ways, miss." And without another word, he turned around and left his humming echoing back to her. Before she could take another step, a door swung open. A boy, a few years older than her, stood before her. He seemed devoid of emotions. His thin lips stretched in an almost mocking smile. She could see the veins bulging through his forehead. He stepped back, almost growling at her, and slowly she walked in. "Oh, so sweet of you to join us for dinner, daughter dearest." Elvis Presley was playing on the stereo while she found her place at the dining table. The food was brought out, the meat so rare it was almost uncooked. As the entrees were put out, the lights suddenly went out. Elvis's sweet, deep voice became groggy, transforming to a completely different voice, and slowly the countdown began. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get your weapons ready. 6, 7, 8. This was her least favorite part of the meal, but obediently she took out her crossbow and aimed straight at her brother across the table. "Goodbye, daughter dearest," and a faint purple light lit up the room as her mother brought the axe down. And then she wakes up, back in the cellar, her new wound almost healed. Every day was the same routine. Get up, eat, work, sleep. I worked from home, my groceries were delivered, and no one really noticed that I never left the house. I couldn't. It wouldn't let me. Sometimes I would see it out of the corner of my eye. It kept me to itself. No visitors allowed. I learned the hard way. A Jehovah's Witness took one step over the doorway, and his scream still haunts me. And the scar on my stomach is a grim reminder of what it'll do if I mess up again. I've been doing well at keeping to the rules since, though it's hard to figure them out sometimes. I've got scars for each one at this point. No leaving the house on my leg. No loud noises on my cheek. No staying up past 10 on my back. It's simple enough to follow, but I guess sticking to a perfect routine was a bad idea. In spite of my situation, since I'd grown used to it, I've slept rather well. I know that it rests at night too, but I don't dare risk it catching me if I try to sneak out. So when I woke up at 2 a.m., I gazed up at the ceiling in confusion. Silence like a heavy blanket. Just as I was about to drift off again, I heard it. The faint click of the back door being opened. More silence, and then footsteps. Dread reaching its icy fingers down my spine, I crept out of bed and tiptoed to the hall, peering around the corner. Whoever they were, they had found the kitchen, so I made my way there, delicately avoiding creaky floorboards. Finally, I was standing at the entrance to the kitchen, staring in horror at the man who had broken into my house. He stared back at me, equally shocked, and I made a quick shushing motion, waving toward the door. "Get out before it knows that you're here," I begged him. He was understandably confused. He'd probably expected me to be angry or attack him, but I just wanted him gone. I didn't know whether it would understand the concept of burglar or not. He continued staring at me, though, holding an antique silver platter that I had inherited. "Just keep it," I hissed desperately. "Just go!" But it was too late. I heard the distinct whispery sound of it moving, and the man dropped, his cry of surprise only a hissing gurgle. Resigned, my first thought was about how I would clean up the mess. I felt its claws trailing across my chest, leaving a trail of crimson. "Please, I didn't want him here. I was trying to make him leave," I whimpered, trying to reason with it. I felt a sharp, burning pain across my ribs, and then it was gone again. Another rule broken and another mark. I don't know how much longer I can live like this, but as long as it stays with me, my family will be safe. Right? I remember being at the bar. I remember him buying me a drink, but the rest is a blur. I awoke cold, very cold, in pitch blackness. I felt sticky and wet. I struggled to lift my right leg. A lid. I was sealed in somewhere. I push and the lid comes up. It wasn't locked. I appeared to be in my best suit, in a freezer. I'm a 34-year-old man. What the hell am I doing sleeping in a freezer? It was then that I noticed the blood on my shirt. I'd been shot 6 times. My legs were partially frozen. I stumbled around. There was a gun on the table and a big butcher's knife next to a photo of a pretty girl. I checked the gun, 7 rounds left, and I took the knife. The basement door was locked, so I swung at the door handle till the splintered door opened, staggering down the hallway like an Irish house mother. I came to a room at the end of the hall, a bedroom. A couple were sleeping. I burst in screaming, "Tartar!" A man and his wife jumped up in the bed. The girl from the picture. "Sorry, dear. I need to change my shirt. It's got some stains." I giggle. "Jerry, what the fuck?" shrieked the woman. "Oh, Jerry, is it?" I laugh. "He told me his name was Frank." "Tell me, dear, have you seen Jerry's basement?" "No, I'm not allowed in there." "You need to get the fuck out of my house," she screamed. Jerry grabbed a gun from the nightstand and emptied 6 rounds. I didn't even flinch. "Jerry, darling, that doesn't work." The second time. "Now, be careful. You may get blood on the clothes." I point my gun at Jerry. "Now get over here and get in the fucking closet. Now tell your wife the truth and come out of the closet, you crazy fuck." I shot Jerry in the leg. "Ah, fuck. Okay, babe, I meet men in the local bar. I drug them, screw them, kill them, and then cut them up in my basement." "Oh my god, Jerry, what the hell?" she screamed. "How long? How many? Why? Is it my fault? Did I do something wrong?" she screamed. "Oh, darling, don't blame yourself," I said as I sat next to her. "You only found out because Jerry got unlucky that you can't kill a werewolf." I chuckle. "But I can kill you." I fired 3 shots into Jerry's face, his body slumping in the corner. "Oh, that's a cute dress. That yours?" "What you think?" I say, holding it up. "Screw you, it's not your color," she said. I chuckled and skipped over. Blam! Shot her point blank in the face. "You're right, darling. I prefer red." I chuckled. "I'll take a red one." And I found a nice blonde wig, stilettos. I got dressed and skipped off down the road. I bought this painting recently. It was a really old watercolor, beautiful, and it drew me in immediately. I didn't know the artist, nor did the person selling it at this new shop I visited. Apparently someone left it outside the store's door. I was elated to get hold of something so seemingly rare, so unique. The painting was of a little girl in a blue dress sitting on a swing in front of a large house in the middle of the woods. The drawing itself was nothing spectacular, but it was the colors used that made it so fascinating. It was a watercolor, but if you looked at it for too long, the colors moved and swayed as if it was just freshly painted and not yet quite dry. What intrigued me too was how the little girl looked. Her face had this look of sadness that you don't often see adorning a child's face, an expression of unfathomable loss. It was quite haunting, if truth be told. A few days after I brought the painting home, things started to change. It was the small things to begin with. The windows of the house had started to burn a bright but deep red. Then another swing appeared. Pretty soon, the little girl started to look different somehow. Her pained expression was replaced by a wicked smile, a wide smile, her features somewhat distorted. She didn't have any teeth, just a mouthful of bleeding gums. The watercolors started to seep out onto my walls. My entire wall was covered in a myriad of colors, and it just would not stop. It leaked onto my floors, my furniture, everything. I tried to take this painting back to the shop I bought it from, but it was no longer there. I should have never touched the painting, though, because the colors began to ooze into my skin. I despaired. I tried to burn it, but nothing happened. And the most terrifying thing was the colors had started to spread all over my body. Soon I was completely covered in this watercolor paint. The painting had begun to spread across my whole apartment. The little girl grew large and covered my entire wall, still with that terrible smile. Then she began to move. She reached out her hand and beckoned to me. I think she wanted me to come inside. I passed out. When I awoke, I looked around and saw a little girl in a blue dress sitting next to me on a swing, with a pained expression on her face. Well, that was a fun collection of stories. What do you think, Google?
The stories were really good, but your narration was a little over the top.
Okay. Ouch. Thanks, Google. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please let me know which one you enjoyed the most, because I really do like these stories. Short, scary stories are always fun to read, honestly, and I hope that you guys find as much fun in them as I did. Apparently not Google, though. My narration was a bit over the top, apparently. Okay. Well, if you did enjoy this video and would like more content like this, hang on, I'll let Google tell you what to do. Hey, Google, what should they do?
They should join the Nevermore.
She's right, you know. You should join the Nevermore. To join the Nevermore, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it, and that makes you part of the Nevermore. You can do things to support the Nevermore, such as following me on Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit, or supporting me on Ko-fi or Patreon. All of these optional, and every single one of them greatly appreciated. All that said, my friends, I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow, and I hope that your week is going really well. Keep your chin up. Things will get better no matter how you feel. We all have those days. But alright, friends, I'll see you in the next video. But until then,
sleep well.